All right, and we are going to not hesitate at all. We are going to exchange our bishop for the knight because he is blundering his queen. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our Rapid Speedrun. Today we're going to be playing a 10+5 Rapid game. In our last game we played the Karo Khan and our opponent was not really able to keep up with us. We decided that we wanted to win in like 13 moves and that's what we did. So today I'm hoping that we are going to have an interesting game where we play an opponent who just loses 13 moves. Maybe we get a longer game or a struggle. And we do get the white pieces. We are going to be playing d4 and we'll see what our opponent goes for. They go for e6. We are going to go for the London system. London system is very systematic opening, as you might imagine. Starts with d4 and then bishop f4 and then e3. E3 is the idea is to get the bishop outside the pawn chain and then to develop your light square bishop. And here we're going to develop our knight to f3. And in the London, it's very simple. You want to play for control of this square here. You want to develop your pieces actively, like bishop on d3. And you just want to usually castle to the king side. Here we're going to play c3. It's just a nice London move. And we do want to play this bishop h3 or this h3 move just so we have a square for our bishop in case of this. And we're going to castle to the king side. Opponent's playing very fast, which I like. And opponent develops his knight before playing the c-pawn. So this is a thing. Most of the time when people play against the London, they want to play this move c5 at some point to challenge the d4 pawn in the center. But our opponent here has decided to develop his knight first. So the pawn is behind the knight. And because of that, he's not going to be able to challenge our center very easily. So let's start playing a little more actively. First, we're going to develop our knight. And I'm thinking we want to maybe break with e4. That's an idea you can play in the London system. Another idea you can do is called building a battery. Building a battery is dropping your bishop back and put the queen here and creating a nice battery that's going to create a checkmate. Like not a threat of checkmate, but it's going to create the idea of creating checkmate along that diagonal. Okay, so our opponent has given us this c5 square. And we're going to use our knight to occupy that square as soon as we can. c5 and e5, these squares are what we want to occupy with our knights. Alright. And our opponent has decided to jump his knight into the center as well. And we could trade. Don't think that would be the best move, though. Do you think we could probably do better? Personally, I like the idea of playing f3 and then e4, breaking in the center. Let's see. I am a bit concerned about him advancing his own pawns. f6 here, and we drop our... Yeah, but, you know, it's not too bad still. We are going to get f3 in. And he's created some weaknesses. I mean, this square is permanently weak. I'm going to create the battery here. Battery is a very nice way to create a checkmate threat. It's very simple. It's very effective. And your opponents are usually very familiar with it. It's not a... What's the word? It's not like a checkmate threat that people are going to fall for a lot, but the pressure is annoying. The pressure is nagging, annoying pressure that your opponent is going to have to respond to. And they've just blundered a pawn straight up in the center of the board, which, I mean, is lovely for us. We do not mind getting a free pawn. We are also going to be able to play f4 here in a second. Okay, so he's going to sacrifice here in order to win this, but pretty sure we have this intermezzo here, which is going to win us some material. this f4 intermezzo. So here's what I saw. If we take like this, opponent's going to give us a fork with our bishop and our king. But I noticed there's this intermezzo, f4, creating an attack on the knight, and our attack on the bishop still stands. So he was unable to foresee that attack, and that's why he's kind of toast here. And our threats are going to come very quickly here. This queen d3, creating the battery threat, is going to happen very quick. Notice our bishop is now in prime position to attack as well. We've got both bishops aimed at the king. Our queen's going to come in. Our knight's going to come in probably to this square. And we are going to have a field day. So I really am liking how this game is developing. And let's see what our opponent does. Okay, we moved around. He decided to take. All right. He thinks that that's the best he can do. Now, one thing we don't want to do is play queen d3 here and allow him to move his bishop back and block. So we do want to accept this pawn before we do anything else. See where he moves his knight. Now, if his knight goes here, we don't give a crap. We're gonna take for sure. But here he's decided to move his queen up. He wants to create a threat here, and we can move our rook over. We don't want his queen to infiltrate. All right, and we are going to not hesitate at all. We are going to exchange our bishop for the knight because he is blundering his queen. I mean, look at this. If he takes, it's a bye-bye queen. So our opponent is really, yeah, he's making very quick moves, and chess hero, it looks like chess 0 right now. And our opponent resigns. Wow. Yeah, very just hasty move. Jumping the knight to the center, not realizing the pin on the pawn that was there, and we get the win. So, yeah, this is not going to be another long video either. It's a very short video. Opponent did not play very well, but we are going to do some analysis on anyways. So, opponent played e6. Now, e6, I guess, is a different way of playing. They're trying to allow us to transpose into a French, or just play a queen's gambit from a different move order. But they didn't really play it that way. They played it a little more slow. A lot of pawn moves. They played a6 and h6. Developed their bishop to e7. So they're really playing quite passively, and they allow us to get whatever we want, basically. In this position, we're better. We have strong pieces, all active. He has pieces that are okay. But his pawn breaks are really hard to prepare. Like this c5 break has been delayed a lot by playing knight c6. And I think b4 was the start of the end for our opponent. We could have played a4, of course, and chipped away at his pawns, made some weaknesses here and here. But we decided not to. We just started developing our pieces. We said, hey, this square is weak. We want to have control of it. Now his bishop has to guard it forever. This bishop is just going to be a defender. He took. We drop our bishop back. And we kick his knight out of the center, drop our bishop back, and we talk about this idea of creating the battery, which was always present in this position. And our opponent went for this pawn break in the center that was premature. He should have countered the attackers and defenders, maybe moved his bishop or his queen to defend it before he did that, but gave us a pawn, and it gave our bishop supreme activity. And here there's a few different moves. G takes h would have been fine. I liked f4. Solidifying our bishop in the center, just creating a very strong piece. And also, our opponent didn't see a way to do anything, so he took a pawn. And here we could have taken the knight, but I just didn't want to allow any sort of activity. So I just dropped over, and yeah. This is just a very bad move from our opponent. Just noticing, hey, this is a free knight because of the pin. So yeah, I think this is a quick video, but it's a good. You want to check your tactics, guys. Tactics are the most important thing in chess, especially when you're beginning. Make sure you notice pins, you notice hanging pawns, and you notice attacks that don't work. So calculate. Think it out in your head. And here, our opponent was just too slow. They decided to take some time with their development, and they didn't see how our pieces were strongly developed and theirs weren't, and we were able to just get this nice bishop in the center of the board. And one good piece can make a difference. This piece is making a difference right now. Your opponent knows that if our queen gets in, we are going to just checkmate this dude. There is not much he can do. So, blunders like this happen when there's too much pressure, and that's exactly what happened. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a nice short one, and I like short videos. Sometimes you just get a nice short, sweet bite of chess for the day. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good rest of your day.